to talk about the spread of data over opening burst protocol weekend. Now make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So I wanted to talk about, this was some data that got posted across social media that I found very interesting, especially going into the 300th this weekend. I wanted to talk about the viability that we saw from week one. Now, is this going to transition over perfectly, and is this going to be a be-all, end-all answer? No. Not at all. This is a benchmarker point to actually show, hey, you know, these decks are actually seeing play. You know, these are the choices that players were playing going into, you know, top cuts of events. Now, 17 Draco Tail Branded. If you're looking strictly at weekend one data, you are going to pretty much think that Draco Tail Branded is the best deck, just based off of representation. And that might actually end up being a very, very, very true thing here as time goes on. And I don't blame people for looking at that and actually thinking this, because Draco Tail Branded's pure representation, Fallen a White, changed the landscape of that deck. You know, the branded package has just become so much more powerful in the scope, the interactions, and the power that it sets up. It just feels very, very strong. Now, right off of the back of that, you've also got a Draco Tail Majest build. Now, Draco Tail and Majest go hand in hand because Zora was a tuner monster. It's another way to access the incredible Ecclesia, the Dark Dragon Synchro monster, which is going to allow you to basically start cheating out and start, you know, getting some initial extra board pieces set up. And then, of course, you know, you can just go one step further and just play the Draco Tail Branded Majest stuff. And this is the build I'm talking about, where, you know, you're looking for that synergy that Zorowa is going to give you, giving you that extra single line. Imagine if we did have, you know, like the 3 Sword Souls, for example, you know, or if we had Borreload Savage, you know, you're not going to really abuse Savage too much, but I mean, an Artemis is an Artemis, you know, is Link 1. There are some play lines you would have of that, but by far, you know, the Majest's package has just been dubbed as DLC effectively. Now, we did have 5 Vanquish Soul challengers out of the early weekend, and I'm actually kind of surprised. Well, the problem with Vanquish Soul is it's way more normal summon reliant at this point. You know, you can't sit here and point the finger at, you know, Vanquish Soul and expect it to start every single game now. No. You know, you don't have the free Joe Cool to be able to extend and go anymore. You know, you don't have Holy Sues that you can just go, well, gets open Holy Sue today. And then, you know, you're just able to kind of start playing. That's not a reality that your deck allows you to do anymore. They've taken away and kind of balanced the deck back out in favor of some more recent changes. And quite honestly, I mean, it balanced things out. I will say, I agree. I think Vanquish Soul is going to be a good standard competitor kind of moving forward. Now, there's this entire Yummy cluster dump here. You've got Yummy, Yummy Fiendsmith, Yummy Sulfa Chord, which is the pendulum stuff, and you've also got Yummy Mystical Space Typhoon. Take your pick of what combination of support you want to, you know, call up to your dear old Yummy monsters and try to get some actual data to back them up, because truth be told, you know, you're going to be seeing some interesting things with that. Now, there was also Crystron. I mean, Crystron's doing kind of all right now. Malice was interesting to see. I think one of my favorite arguments that people have had with Malice is like, nobody's going to respect it, but it's going to creep through in some numbers because players are going to actually truly not believe that it's a real deck. And I think that's going to be a case that you're going to be seeing for a lot of this stuff kind of going forward. You know, players are going to go, oh, hey, you know, I'm going to play a deck that's not going to come out. I mean, this is what happens. You're going into week 2. You've got a semi-established meta, but, you know, you've got people that are going to try to break it. Same thing with Orchest. Orchest into Radiant Typhoon kind of is an interesting little, you know, contraption. to say the least. I definitely can say Dingrisu being able to try to protect your stuff is kind of nice. You've also got Exo Sister only having a single top. I was kind of curious about that. Mitsurugi and Mitsurugi Rizal. First of all, for Mitsurugi, doing pretty decent. I'm happy to see that. Now, only 4 Mystical Space Typhoon decks. This is going to be the real challenger out of the weekend. Overall, I mean, you have 4 MST, but you've also had a Yummy MST deck in the top cut of a regional as well, which indicates that, you know, players are going to be looking at creativity options to try to, you know, spice and things up. And I really am excited to see what methods they are going to use to make that a little bit better. We've also got 3 White Forest Azamina. Quite honestly, White Forest is one of the scariest decks you've got. I've said this time and time again, but for those of you going to the 300th, I'll echo it to the back. You know, White Forest, you not having that droll to stop them is going to feel really, really bad in a lot of situations. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to get, you know, their entire run ended by a White Forest end board because either they're going to be like, oh, I don't consider this a real deck, or they're just going to come out of left field and go, hey, what's up, guys? How are you? And you're just going to, this doesn't hurt. It's just, the more it happens, the more annoyed you get, and then you just get, whoa, you're in the next room. Odeon. So you're always going to have Rogue. I mean, like, from this point on, it's a lot of, like, Rogue doing its thing. So Odeon, I mean, okay, it's been a contender. Mermail actually did win a regional. Mermail actually, and once again, I mean, this is where you shift from me play good deck, me do good, to me good player, me can play deck and make it work. And Mermail, I think, is one of those good decks. We also had 1 Monarch. If you can not build a house all day and you can win every dice roll, my God, you just win them all, man. Like, there's no... Anybody want to argue that? No? Okay. We've also got 2 DDD in the background. It's a very good combo deck. I actually wish the best. Only 1 Lunalight. This is trippy to me because Lunalight was supposed to be the scary deck in the room. You know, this is supposed to be the one that's going to change everything. But it really just didn't get the chance to do so. So I'm a little bit intrigued by that one. We also had a Magnet Warrior. That's a frickin' surprise. If you still think that Magnet Warrior is not a deck to be prepared for, I do wish you the best of luck. We also had 3 Despia variants listed. So, I mean, you can go toss these up into the branded subsection. It just depends on, you know, what you want to call. Cool Tune also has a top again. I think Cool Tune is going to be defining the definition of Rogue for a little while. It's a deck that, if it walks into a decent matchup, it does well. Now, how good those matchups are, I mean, are dependent on how you open up and what you're playing against, but it's definitely got the toolkit to do things. We've also got Chimera, good old Chimera. Fiend Smith is just good. Also had a Trap Trick deck. The heck's a Trap Trick deck? And we also had a Gem Knight OTK deck. I mean, you get the point here of the picture that's being painted in the upcoming meta, you know, where you're actually seeing, yes, Draco Tail something is going to be the meta, you know, Yummy, Vanquish Soul, Radiant type. I'm trying to keep you guys up to date with the best info that I can, and I guess to also answer the question, am I going to be at the 300th? No. I wasn't planning on going anyway, but the 2.5 weeks of constant bombardment of, you know, the health issues, the challenges each and every day, even like if I were to recover, I have no desire to go. The recovery time first. Sitting down in front of a camera every day to film is what I prefer to do when it comes to this game, because I love talking about it. You know, getting out and expending that much social battery energy right now is not something I have in me. So I wish you guys truly the best of luck. I mean, I'll have friends walking around at the event. I'll have eyes. You know, we'll see what's going on. But please, you know, take a second to, you know, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this meta. And you guys have a good particular rest of your day. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.